The other great thing that I saw on our last night in Las Vegas was the Beatles Love live show at the Mirage Hotel. Now, this is a really sought after show. This is a show that's been talked about a lot and basically rules that part of the Las Vegas Strip. And, folks, let me tell you, it's for good reason. Um, the Beatles Love show is one of the most impressive live experiences I've ever seen. I contacted Cirque du Soleil, who I had worked with here in Edmonton on the Crystal Ice show when they came over. Of course, that would be in Canada, right? And I said, listen, I'm going to Vegas. I want to collaborate again. Do you think I could maybe review a show of you guys's? And yeah, I could go check it out. And they said, absolutely. Go review the show. We'll get you in the press section for Beatles Love. So the first thing that I noticed, the Mirage, I think, is visually all around, in my opinion, the most impressive hotel in Las Vegas. The volcano show in the front of it is astounding. The gardens, the jungle, whatever they want to call it, that they have in front of it and inside the lobby are really remarkable. I mean, it's just insane. Behind the front desk is a massive aquarium full of live fish, all different types of fish and just sea life. There's waterfalls. I mean, visually, it's like you really are in a Mirage. I mean, obviously the idea is just stunning. And at the back of the Mirage is the Beatles Love Theater, and you can see it from far away. And I love the way they have this theater constructed. It's nice. It's often the top is all made out of silver, and it just really commands attention. It has a nice polished theme. Some of the Vegas showrooms look a little bit old. This one looks beautiful, gorgeous, and modern. They have a nice Beatles store there. It wasn't too bad to get your will call tickets. The line wasn't too bad. Tons of stuff if you're a Beatles fan, if you want to bring souvenirs. And even just the store. I mean, it's a great place for a Beatles fan to go and check out. In any case, I mean, the whole thing is cool. Also, the snacks and everything smelt incredible. But we went inside the theater, and the first thing I noticed was that there were sort of pillars, so to speak, and there were open parts to the stage where it looked even deep. Like if somebody jumped down there, they're in for a little bit of a fall. And I'm sure there was padding in there. But the show started right away when we sat down, and people were jumping out of these open parts of the stage. People were being propelled from the ceiling. Right off the bat, they warned us that people were going to be doing acting in the audience. There was people running down our rows, people floating over our heads. I mean, the choreography in this show is just incredible. There were dance numbers, people driving cars, people in massive psychedelic costumes. It was just something else. I even noticed that there were some very little kids, I'm talking 5-year-old kids, who were in this show. And their acting was superb. You know, I actually used to do theater when I was a little kid. I'm talking like 6 or 7. Actually, I think I did it till I was about 10, to be honest with you guys. So I know a little something about acting, and I want to act more soon. Not in theater. But when there's certain little things that an actor will notice, like if you're in a theater show and you're walking off the stage and you're just about to take a step backstage and you break character, that's not good. Stuff like that, it never happens, of course, in Beatles Love because they're so top tier. Those people really are in character the whole time, and they're so dedicated to what they're doing. The other thing that I could really tell about this show, and I was thinking about it, was that playing at Cirque du Soleil in Las Vegas, if you're a Cirque performer, is the cream of the crop. Like that is the top of where you can get in terms of success. And the people who have worked to get there have been weeded out of a massive group of people. They're massively, insanely talented, and they know exactly what they're doing, and this is their dream. So to see the smiles on those people's faces while they're performing, they were genuine. You could absolutely tell they were genuine. I also enjoyed that they didn't have a storyline, which was like, we have a Paul character, and this guy's going to play John Lennon, and this guy... No. They incorporated the Beatles, but it was through voiceover in sound. And you saw sort of shadow figures of the Beatles or animated figures that didn't really show their facial features, but you knew which one everybody was, and you would hear them talking amongst themselves. And it was sort of like they were above the show and removed from the actual performance, and nobody was playing a Beatle, but the Beatles were sort of always involved and always around. And I thought that was really impressive and cool. At one point, they also had the actual shadows, so to speak. It's hard to explain because it's sort of hard to explain if you're not there. But the hologram shadows were interacting with real people, so they would send, so to speak, a gust of wind at a person, and the real life person would fall. You know what I mean? It was like you're watching animated figures and real people interact on a stage as if it's a movie, like Ted the movie or something like that. It was just visually, it was a feat. It was so stunning and so beautiful, and there were moments where I gasped out loud. I mean, it was just incredible. And if the athleticism of some of these people too, doing these spins and doing these jumps and hanging from ropes without harnesses was incredible. And I mean, they pulled out all the stops. The main thing I enjoyed about this show was that they covered all of the Beatles. They covered the fun, twist, and shout Beatles. They covered the political, civil rights Beatles. They covered the psychedelic Indian Beatles. They did for the benefit of Mr. Kite with the circus stuff. They did every aspect of the Beatles. And if you're a fan, I think there's nothing else that you can ask for. When it comes to a tribute to an artist, this is top tier to the level that it's the best that I've ever seen. Because they put so much attention to detail. Not only did they do the greatest hits, they did deep cut songs, such as Tomorrow Never Knows off Revolver. And they put a white cloth, so to speak, over the entire crowd. The entire crowd's under a veil of some sort. And we have psychedelic imagery going on and people walking around. I mean, I felt like I was on acid. You don't even need drugs. I was sober. You don't need drugs to go to this show, because the show in and of itself is just an incredible experience. So massive shout out to Cirque du Soleil, not only for allowing me to come and collaborate with them and review this show, but for putting such beautiful attention to detail into a tribute to the Beatles. I can only imagine Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr watching this show, because it's just so well done. And at the end, they showed the Beatles bowing throughout the years as they bowed. And, I was the first person in that arena to get up and give them a standing ovation, because it was a fantastic show. And I know that they had to do another show right after. They had 2 shows a night. Really a feat. In Cirque du Soleil, they always deliver. So if you guys are going to Las Vegas, I definitely recommend you guys go check out Cirque du Soleil. They're incredible at what they do, and they put on a great show.